Hi everyone, welcome to the Stop Self-Sabotage series. This is session 1. So I'm going to cover 3 out of the possible 8 different ways we can sabotage ourselves. And we're going to discover the first 3 today, and also the 3 reasons why we sabotage in the first place. So you are in the right place. If you have big dreams for yourself, but you are struggling with overwhelm, lack of concentration, and lack of self-belief. All right, we're going to cover that today. Or what about, are you sick of sabotaging your efforts with disruptions, being distracted, negative self-talk, negative emotions, and negative beliefs that you might have about yourself? I'll also go into depth into how these happen and why we have such beliefs happening. And you want to understand how and why people sabotage. Why do they sabotage themselves, including why do you sabotage yourself, so you can gain the resources to accomplish your goals and your dreams. So tonight or today, we are going to learn 3, as I said, out of the 8 possible sabotages stopping us from seeing results with our goals and dreams, and 3 reasons why we sabotage. I've said that. The exact 3 steps you need to love yourself enough to take the most progressive action towards your desired results. And I will also share a very special offer to work with me and to make these results happen even faster, because here at Intuitive Heart Training Academy, we work on the free to many model. So it's called the free to many model. And what that means is it's like Google and Netflix and many other companies these days, where we offer free service, which is jam-packed of immense value. And you can take it at that and learn the concepts and the theory, and perhaps go and apply it and see what you get. And then we have many further options that we would like to share and offer our people who feel called to come and learn with us, to experience with us, and so that they can truly get the results that we promise through our trainings and programs. And I'm going to share with you those opportunities, or some of those opportunities. And it's just so great to know what is possible for you, and the amazing bonuses that I have on offer for you for being here tonight or today if you're listening to the replay. And if you stay until the end of the replay, I'm going to give you a special bonus, and I'll share the details of that at the end. So absolutely, I will only be giving this bonus to those who do stay with me and participate throughout this. And feel free to say hi if you're there, and that's okay if you can't as well. That's totally cool. So hi, I'm Lauren. Most of you probably know me by now, but here are some cool facts about me. I've been with my husband for 20 years. We just celebrated last month, and we have 2 beautiful daughters, a 6-year-old and almost 2-year-old, and our gorgeous baby boy, Cavoodle. That was our first baby, our dog. I was a drummer. Just some trivia about me, and I work for a music record label, and I've been exploring human potential, so my video is covering that, human potential, since I was 16. So that's 22 years now. Yeah, so you can do the maths of my age. All right, let's get into it. The first 3 sabotages that everyone makes. So we all make them at different times in our life. And knowing them helps us bring them into the light. So you're going to hear me talk about that a lot today. Bringing something into the light means bringing it to its best, most ideal form, bringing it into a resource, something positive, something fantastic for us, compared to in the shadow, where that's the problem, and that's not great, and it doesn't feel good to us, and it's not working for us. So when you hear me use the words shadow and light, this is what I mean, and that will make sense as we go through this. All right, let's do these first 3 sabotages. Firstly, what is a sabotage? Well, where you are today and where do you want to be? right? When we talk about dreams, desires, getting results in your life, in order for us to think about how we might sabotage ourselves, well, we've had to have had an idea or a sense of what we want to start with. Now, some of us are more clear about what we want than others, or at other times in our life. You might not have officially written a goal lately. Maybe you have, which is super cool too. It's just to think of, we always have, I'm going to say it was a big generalization, we always have desires, dreams for ourselves. And we always then can compare that to where we are today. Where are we today and where do we want to be? And all the action in between those two things, this question of, is what I'm doing getting me closer to this or not? Is it getting me closer to my goals, results, and desires for all the different areas of my life? And you've got here a possible wheel of life. You've probably seen others, and this is a cool one, I think, with all the different things we can consider in our world and making goals and having desires, results in all of these areas of our life. So I want to think about what's going on for you. What's a place where it needs improvement? And you may notice the place that needs most improvement is a place where sabotage is happening. So let's look at these sabotages. Sabotage 1, the question, it's a few questions. Are you ready to stop blaming having a lack of energy for not doing what you want? I get it. Having a lack of energy, not easy. This sabotage, when I'm talking now on the sabotage in the shadow, in the light, it tells us, it shows us how we can solve this. How can we, at any moment in time, have more energy? Are you ready to stop busyness on the wrong things? We can all be busy. Is it on the things that are getting you closer to your heart's desires and what's best for you? Or are you doing things that you think are important, but they're actually not that important? Are you ready to feel the freedom of your heart and spirit speaking through you again, like you did when you were a child? Now, this first principle in the light, then, in order for this to be the first sabotage, what we have is a principle that brings us into the light of that. And it's this question. It goes, do I love myself enough to be inspired and have the energy I want? Because the principle of consciousness here is we must have energy. So I totally get it if you have felt a problem with not having enough energy. Because this is the first principle for a reason. We do need energy in order to start a new adventure, start any quest, to really do our day-to-day life. And the secret to having energy is being inspired, is inspiration. The archetype is the innocent adventurer. So when we speak about a principle, we have what's called an archetype. I'm not going to go too much into what is an archetype today, but I'm going to share with you that it is a principle of consciousness, and the first archetype that gives us the resources in the light is the innocent adventurer. And you can see this picture, and it might speak to you, your unconscious mind. A picture tells 1,000 words, and your unconscious mind is symbolic. So the part of you that makes meaning and makes sense of things can even just see this picture and connect with it and get some symbols and some messages from it. So what's going on in this step, again, in terms of it being a shadow, let's just extend this, how it is as a sabotage. I mean, not necessarily just a shadow, but in terms of the sabotage, this is busyness on the wrong things, not enough energy to do what you want, not connected to your childlike innocence and play. When's the last time you played? When's the last time you just had fun? When we're uninspired, we can go into a depression, feel depressed. What about feeling no sense of freedom or too much freedom in the wrong places? Too much freedom in the wrong places where we're not disciplining ourselves where we need to, not making the right choices. And what about this feeling of being stuck, having no trust in the universe as well? This is how this principle in the shadow plays as a sabotage for us. So again, to bring it into the light, we must have inspiration. Now, if we look at that word, it looks like it can say in spirit, inspiration. What does that mean? It's connecting to the part of you that knows everything, that is connected to what is best for you, that is part of your soul. So I've moved my video up so that you can see these words. And inspiration, right? It's this feeling of excitement. I could add that as a word, excitement. When is a time that you were just lit up, where your heart just felt really happy about that thing when you think about it? And having fun, freedom, and play, by the way, can totally help you connect with your inspiration. Okay, now a big other word is enthusiasm. When's the last time you had enthusiasm for something? That's what this principle, this archetype, tells us to do when we're in the sabotage of not having enough energy. We need to approach things with enthusiasm and approaching things anew and fresh. Later on, there's a principle, I'm not going to share it with you today. It's in our 22 principles of consciousness, and we do all of them in order for us to live as a human being. And we've got the first 8 principles of manifesting. Later on, when we're looking at transforming our life, there is a principle that reminds us that we must always reclaim our innocence, meaning to approach something new with our resources that we've gained from our past, but not our negative emotions and built up negative limiting beliefs. Like, you probably have maybe connected already with examples, but here are some examples. What about getting into a new relationship whilst you let go of the past pain of it? Hold on to the learning so that you can go into a new relationship with a new innocence. So you're not projecting and expecting repeated old patterns, but you're inviting yourself and giving yourself full permission to experience something completely different than maybe you ever have before. And this is also what this principle tells us, to start things afresh, to give it a go, like you're a child first doing it, or doing it for the first time. And connected to your own higher self and heart's desires. This is what this principle reminds us of. This is the principle of infinity. Infinite possibilities, all possibilities. This is a place of ideas. So this can also manifest for us as having so many ideas that we get overwhelmed. Don't know if you relate to that. And the next principle, by the way, helps us, and it tells us, I will share, it tells us to choose one idea and focus on that one idea at a time. So here are some questions for you to consider. I'm going to read the gold first. What could be stopping my inspiration? Oh, I didn't mean to have 2 question marks there, but that's okay. And how will I connect again to my inspiration? How will you think and ask yourself now, how could I connect with my inspiration? And what do I want to have more energy for? What do I want to have more energy for? Yeah. Because, by the way, I will just share a bit of information here in the black writing. It says this sabotage can be caused by unresolved childhood wounding, such as being overly criticized as a child. And it can also happen if we don't look after our physical body because of childhood woundings as well, because of unresolved pain in our past. And not knowing our passions, not connecting to what makes us happy and what makes us passionate and alive and feel happy, that can have us do the sabotage, feeling lost, feeling scattered. And instead of seeing it in a way of freedom, we're starting to see it as overwhelm and nowhere to go. Because the innocent adventurer doesn't really care for direction at this point. It wants to just be free. Okay? So you're just here looking at all the ideas, and there is this passion. Children are passionate about certain things. So if you have not connected with something that's made you passionate, you can't think of things that make you passionate, then this principle invites you to reconsider that and to look and explore what's made you passionate. So we have some cool techniques we do at our passion and purpose training that specifically helps people connect with their soul's passions and all the things that have made you happy. And what we come to realize and learn is it's not the thing that we're passionate about. It's not really what we're doing. It's the meaning we put to it. This is a lipstick, not very exciting, but everything in our world is not about the thing or the thing that we're doing. It's about what it brings us, the essence. You know, what do you love about if you draw and you love drawing or coloring in or painting or cross-stitching or talking with people or being in nature, being with animals? Yes, those things are important and they matter. And what makes you passionate is actually your essence that you're putting in that moment. Because for someone else, being with animals is about nurturing and love. Whereas, I don't know if this is a great example because I can't think what I'm going to say next. Whereas for someone else, animals could be on a farm and the animals have a different purpose. And so my unconscious mind's just brought that up, right? And so everything in our world is always the context that creates the meaning as well. So all meaning is context dependent, how it sits for you. And it's not about the thing, it's about the meaning around it all. What's this thing that makes you happy, makes you passionate? And what do you want more energy for, by the way? What do you want to have more energy for? So this is the first sabotage. All of these different things, if you can get a sense of this energy here, when we're not being playful, right? We're not being free, fun, inspired. We don't have energy. That is the first sabotage. Here we are for the second sabotage. If you have any questions, just let me know. At the end of the session, I'm also going to send you through my slides, so you'll have a copy of all my slides, okay? But also to take notes for yourself, and you can know that I will be sending you through the slides as well. Okay, so here is the second sabotage. Are you ready to concentrate on the things most important to you? Are you ready to choose one idea, one of them, right? And it can be this big thing, and you can probably break it down into a step. And yes, you can have the big thing if that's still the one thing, and take that idea and bring it down and start doing these next steps that I'll share with you. I'm only going to share this one and the next one today. In our next session, I'm going to share all of the 8, because there are 8 steps we need to manifest something, to manifest any idea into the material plane. And here is the thing we've got to do first. We've got to choose one so we can start taking action on it. Now, it's really easy. This might break hearts. This is not easy for me to share with people, because I know that this is usually a big aha moment. Having ideas is the easy part. Having ideas is really, it's like, it's actually pretty easy when you're connected to your soul. I'm not going to undermine ideas. Ideas are fantastic. They are gold. And when you just stay in ideas and then you come up with all these different ideas and you haven't ever really taken action on one of them, then what's happening is You're staying in the realm of possibility. You're staying in the realm of infinite possibilities where it feels and seems perfect. Because in the realm of infinite possibilities, that is ideas, it's not in the material plane. It's not coming down through our five senses and coming onto the earth plane where there's interference. There's stuff down here. There's things like energy and day-to-day life to work with. Yeah, okay. Thanks for sharing, Teresa. Struggling with this, taking the idea. Yeah, okay. Let's see why. Let's see if we can really nail this for you, what's going on. And the thing is with this is the moment the idea starts to come down inside of you that you do start taking action, all of the reality comes into play. And the reality does not feel as good as it doesn't feel as good as the idea. And that's why being inspired helps, because if it's starting to feel, but now I'm noticing my doubts, and this is coming up next. This is the next sabotage, so we'll go into this next, right? But I'm sharing with you some of the reality can be things like, all my fears are coming up. I keep telling myself, like, I really don't think I can do this. Or maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Is this really right? Then you think of all the possible consequences that could be happening, could happen. Then it just, it means that you have to actually do something totally different that you haven't done before. And that can be like, oh man, do I really have to do that? And it doesn't feel as good as the idea. The thing we must remember is, I love this. I'm at my stand-up desk and I'm feeling really like called. I feel like I'm channeling this for you all. Is we are going to get back to how great the idea feels if we keep going. Yeah, if we keep going, it's like if you can get through that uncomfortable time, and it is, I'm just going to say that what it is, it's so uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable because all your crap comes up. Everyone has it. We just have it at a different level, because anytime you set a new goal for yourself, a next evolution of your next step, like a higher level of where you're at, no matter where you're at financially, people tend to have a bigger financial goal afterwards. Maybe your health, we can always set new levels for our goals. And when we start to bring it down, to take action on it, that stuff comes up. Oh, am I really worthy for this? Is this really good for me? And all the things I'm going to talk to you about why we sabotage in the first place are the reasons that can start to come up, and it doesn't feel good. The thing is, it will get closer and closer to that inspiration the more you take action on it. The more you go through that uncomfortableness, the closer you get to that feeling that inspired you in the first place. And you will be proud of yourself. Every step that you overcome, every hurdle that you overcome, brings you more and more of what you're actually wanting. Growth, belief in yourself, feeling good and proud and contributing. Every single step, I promise, if you can notice for yourself how your resistance comes up and you do it anyway, you take that idea and you do it anyway, you will get closer to that inspiration. You will get closer to manifesting it, of course, and you will grow and get everything you want along the way too, if you're willing to pay attention, because things are not easy. That's why people don't follow through on their ideas too, because the moment it doesn't feel easy anymore, they revert back to their comfort zones. And we'll explore why. I'll share with you why. Well, I'll just say now, everyone wants to feel safe. The body and the brain is programmed to have us stay in certainty, to have us stay with what we know, even if what we know is not where we want to be, what's even good for us. The unconscious mind thinks it's doing what's good for us. And that's the the conflict and the resistance sometimes, that the growth that it asks of us feels like it's going against everything that our unconscious mind wants for us, that is to be safe. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, honey, you're still going to be safe going and, meeting new people because you'll be trusting your intuition, for example. Honey, you'll be good and this will be great for you because the goal is, to be healthier. So if you know that exercising and the food that you're eating right now, even if it's uncomfortable and all your excuses and reasons are coming up, of course it's going to be safer for you to keep going than it is to stay where you are. But the unconscious mind tends to believe we're programmed in, and we have to fight that resistance too, to listen to the excuse. It's quite funny when we can be really self-observant and self-loving enough just to go, oh, isn't my self-talk cute? Because we're not our self-talk. We are always more than our self-talk. Our self-talk has come from all of the different programmings and influences in our world, and a lot of our self-talk thinks it's keeping us safe. And so we want to listen to the excuses and go, and your body knows better. Your body wisdom will still be not lighting up, like, that time where it's not right for you. Some people get it in their stomach where it's a feeling of, no, this is not good for me. Some people get like a heat in their head and it's like, nope, this is not good for me. So there's a stronger message that will come through to you if something really is not safe. But a lot of that chatter, self-talk in your head is old programming, thinking it's keeping you safe when it's not. So we want to really start to have you access the difference between your body wisdom telling you when something's really not good for you versus when your excuses and reasons are telling you things and you think they're real. That's the thing, they can feel really real. They can sound really real. And you're just going to work on these steps. You really want to just keep the goal in mind. Remember that inspiration. Yes, this is the uncomfortable bit, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And that's what successful people do. They go through the shit and they don't show it. Sometimes you wouldn't know. And you just keep going. And you've done it before. You've had plenty of times in your life where you've proven to yourself you can do things you didn't think you could do. So you can do it again. Are you ready to cut away all the distractions and to concentrate? Are you ready for that? Because this second principle is asking for us to, do I love myself enough to focus and to concentrate on the right things that are best for me? The self-love principle is concentration. Or the secret is focus. Actually, that's the other way around. Doesn't matter. I thought I changed the slides. That's okay. Same thing, really. Concentration, focus, which means to choose one thing at a time. Notice the magician, the archetype here is the magician, and his finger is pointing to something specific. The pentacles, by the way, on the table, represents the material plane. And notice his other arm with his wand is connected to the higher self, and above his head is the infinity sign, which is all of the infinite possibilities of the innocent adventurer. And bringing our inspiration down, it comes down through the wand and out onto the material plane where they have all their resources. We have all of our resources, the cup of emotions, our intellect, so our ability to discern, and all of our resources for the material plane. I've got the sword there, the sword there of discernment, the roses and the lilies. I'm not going to go into all the symbology, but I will say they represent your desires and your goals. And so we've got to keep that in mind. And this is not the same. This feels different to this, but you've got to keep going. Right? So in the shadow, this is too attached to material manifestations without any true desire or integrity. So this is the law of attraction, by the way. This is going, focus on what you want And when you focus so well on that and you really live like you already have the thing that you want, you can get it. You can be and have the energy that needs you to call in what you want. And so this is the law of attraction. And there was a documentary and movie and a big book and things about this idea. Now, some of those people on the documentary sharing this law or this principle, consciousness, didn't have integrity and were going for things like stealing money. I don't even know, right? But they weren't connected to with their higher self. They were just totally focused on the material plane. So sometimes we can be so attached to the material plane and think that's going to give us something. And it's not if we're not connected to the true desire of why we want it in the first place, or it's not from the right integrity. Like, you know, do you really need a big house with so many bedrooms and all the things, la-di-da? And that might mean people start to live out of integrity of their own values to get that thing. And it's like, actually, a big house with all the bedrooms is not really important to me. It was just something that my ego got so caught up in doing and wanting. So that's how this can sometimes be a shadow for people. What about not concentrating on one thing at a time? Trying to concentrate on many things at a time. Now, what does that mean? Because, by the way, you can multitask. You can. I have to be careful what I say here. You know the difference between, are you focusing or are you distracting yourself? And sometimes when you're focusing on one thing, one project, you've got like multiple things going on at the same time. And what this principle invites us to look at is going, for 5 minutes, are you focused on this one thing? So that in the next 5 minutes, yes, you can do that next thing. In the next 5 minutes, say, we'll do that thing. But these 3 things in the 15 minutes have all been towards the same project. That's a time when you go, all right, well, that's just what is needed right now. Checking the emails coming through, doing my slides, right? Like there are certain projects that mean you're focusing on things, but it also saying at one time. Now, we have all different areas of our life, don't we? So it means, say, for 1 hour in your day, you're focusing on your health, like going specifically, say, to exercise. And another hour, you're focusing on a completely different area of life. So you really check in for yourself. This is personal to you, of what does focus mean at one time. But it's like, if you've got many ideas about one thing and they're kind of completely different, like 2 ideas for a book, 2 separate ideas for different businesses, different audiences, you got to choose one. You'll know. Depends again on the context, on the thing. Choose one and carry it through. Concentrate enough on it, because that's what this says. In the light of this principle, concentrate. Now, this can also be about you being magical, you knowing that you have your own beautiful power. So when we don't believe we have power over our world, our own environment, this can be a sabotage. We forget that we are actually the ones creating meaning to things. And what about being over-focused and attached to the wrong things? Maybe things for others instead of self, maybe things not on your dreams and goals. Or what about you're so over-focused on something you forget your own physical needs, like not eating well and not going to the bathroom and things like that, or sleeping well because you're so fixated. That's what this can happen with a sabotage. In this principle, you can focus too much, you can concentrate too much to the detriment of other things, your own physical health, but maybe detriment to other areas of your life. So we want to bring this into magical transformations, higher wisdom, connecting again with our spirit from the innocent adventurer, bringing that down and channeling, whatever that means to you. But that could be that you just feel connected to your inner wisdom. You feel connected to your soul, the best parts of you. Yeah. So what we've got here are some questions. Now, this sabotage can be caused by feelings of unworthiness and beliefs around I am not good enough or worthy enough to focus on what I want. So some beautiful questions here. What do I need to bring down from my inspiration and concentrate on? What has stopped me from concentrating on this before? That's a real question, good question to make sure you get the answer to that. What stopped you from concentrating on this before? And again, I'll send you these slides at the end of this class. And is it a mindset shift that you need to focus or concentrate? Is it extra support? Is it a tool? Is it a system, strategy, or ritual you need to put in place to have you concentrate? Yeah, on this idea that you know you need to do. And isn't this a beautiful butterfly picture, by the way? Transformation. Yeah. I know we've got Teresa who loves beautiful dragonflies as well. I should have put a dragonfly. Apologies, Teresa. All right, our third sabotage. Are you ready to receive? You ready to receive? Are you ready to open yourself up enough to receive what you truly want? Because you could receive $20. And have you asked for what you really want? Because you probably want more than just $20. Like maybe you can receive at certain times, but it's like, are you opening yourself up enough to receive what you truly saying that you want? Because it's then, are you asking for it? Are you ready to ask for what you want and to believe in yourself to have it? Are you ready to ask for what you want and to believe in yourself to have it? Because this sabotage is about not doing those things, okay? Right, so we'll talk about that in a sec. The third principle invites us to love ourselves enough to be vulnerable, to open ourselves up to the right people to receive what we want. So the principle is receptivity, and the secret is we need to be vulnerable, okay? To the right people. So again, it's this uncomfortable place. Can be. Now in the shadow of this, we've got our fears. Yeah, our fears. They come up when we start to implement our ideas. Fears do tend to come up, right? It's a part of our programming, again, that thinks it's keeping us safe. What about afraid of being seen? Whether that's putting out a piece of creation into the world. That could be like, oh, but then no, I don't want to be seen. I don't want people to see it and to then possibly criticize me, or right? That's stopping being vulnerable. You can see that. So from the fear of not being criticized. But then no one's going to see you. Your people that are going to love you are not going to see you. What about the can't say the word, inability to receive? So unable to receive. And look at how you receive most things in your life, because that's going to show you where you're at with receiving what you really want. So it's like, how am I receiving compliments from people? How are you at receiving gifts, say on your birthday? How are you at receiving love and just like good friendship and cuddles and hugs and admiration? How do you receive pleasure from others and like pleasure from your body? And how do you allow yourself to just receive that pleasure without any kind of thing going on about that? No judgment about it. Can you just receive pleasure? Or do you judge it? Because if you judge it, then you're probably judging the thing that you want. So you're not even bringing it in. You're not even going to ask for it because you've got these judgments. So it's like how you judge being able to receive is showing you what you're putting out there as a sabotage. It could be a sabotage, right? If this is fully judgmental. And even receiving birthday gifts is a feeling of, if you think of a time where you were just gifted these surprises or gifted these gifts, right? And you're vulnerable in that moment because you don't know what the gifts are. You don't know what the intention of the gifts were from the giver. There's actually vulnerability in those times, and it can be not comfortable as well. It can be quite a funny feeling to be watched. You know, that feeling where it's like your special day and everyone's watching you, and then you're getting gifts and everyone's watching you. This is this place of vulnerability, and you've got to look at what you do with the uncomfortableness. Because again, when you start asking, if you haven't already, start asking for what you really, really want, so your next level goals, there will be times where you won't be comfortable and you'll need to be able to receive it anyway, or you'll need to be able to ask for it anyway. So if you're stopping yourself now in the smaller things, which are always actually the big things, if you are stopping yourself from receiving pleasure, gifts, compliments, without feeling the need to just give back as well, then you've got to work on that to help you receive those bigger new goals that you want. Because this is your receptivity. This is your relationship with your receptivity, your ability to receive. So sometimes too, we can be vulnerable with the wrong people. We can be too vulnerable with the wrong people. And we've all learned that, you know, and you've maybe think of times that what I mean by that is maybe you're in environments where, say, you're learning at a school, and so you're getting to know a big group of people at one time. And sometimes, like with myself, I really wanted to connect deeply with everyone. And then I've gone, actually, there are going to be people that I don't need to connect deeply with, and I shouldn't. And I mean just, you know, having connection, having care for someone else, having them feel comfortable in my presence. But you know what? Not everyone has to feel comfortable in my presence, because some people just not going to, because they have their own projections of me. We always have just different perceptions and projections of each other. So we have to be okay with people sometimes not being comfortable with us. And this can be a thing of, are you opening yourself up too much to too many people or to the wrong people? What about you don't ask for your desires, or you don't ask for help, and you don't trust your unconscious mind? You don't trust your inner wisdom. Your unconscious mind is everything that you're not conscious of in this moment. We'll talk about this soon. Okay, but it is the part of you that drives and runs all your behaviors and emotions and has all your memories, and it's just so beautiful and powerful for you, your unconscious mind. So in the light, what we want to do to overcome this sabotage of not receiving is having receptivity and being vulnerable, having healthy vulnerability with the right people, connection to all wisdom and inner wisdom, and having that trust of ourselves, having trust of our inner wisdom, having ease and grace when we receive. It allows ease and grace in our life, because it's just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Instead, connected to your own higher self and your heart's desires, which is also something I've said before. Yes, it can be another light of a different principle that I've mentioned. Being connected to our own higher self and heart's desires is always important. Not other people's wants and desires for us, but our own. So I'll talk about that. Because unless we do work with a therapist or really have a lot of self-awareness, a lot of us can be functioning from influence of others, particularly the influence of our parents. Even when we're adults, we can be stuck in our childlike thinking with the events that we experienced, and we could still be living our life to impress our parents, to feel better about ourselves in relationship to our parents and our childhood. So sometimes influence of others can stop us from connecting to our own higher self and heart's desires. Okay? All right. So this sabotage of not having receptivity can be caused by feelings of being afraid of what sits in your unconscious mind. So I'll just change this here. Okay, this sabotage can be caused by feelings of being afraid of what sits in your unconscious mind. It could be unresolved emotions from the past. A lack of memory and anxiety can also be a sign of this sabotage when it comes to your ability to receive. So the questions for yourself are, what do I need to bring down? Oh, no, I didn't change this. Okay, so the questions for this, let me just have a little look-see here. The questions would actually be, if I think about it for myself, because I've probably closed the page. Yeah, so I'll fix these up and I'll send you the updated slide for this one. The questions would be, what do I want to receive? It's like, what do I want to receive? How does receptivity make me feel? Like, how does receiving things actually make me feel? And it would also be, what are my beliefs about receiving what I want? What are my beliefs about receiving what I want? Because this beautiful archetype, this principle, right? She is your unconscious mind. I said that, but I'll say it again, clearer. Meaning she is this part of you where all of your beliefs are, where all of your emotions are. So we want to explore your beliefs and your emotions. On this thing, when we talk too about manifesting, taking action to get results in our world, we've gone from all ideas, we choose something and we focus and concentrate on that. Then we need to explore our emotions and beliefs about this. Do you believe you are worthy, good enough, lovable enough, and safe? Because there are 3 core fears that we are fundamentally always, our unconscious mind is always being driven to fulfill. It's this question of, am I lovable enough? Am I good enough or worthy? And I think this comes up in one of my slides, I think. And am I safe? Yeah, good enough and worthy stay like a similar. Am I lovable enough? Am I good enough and worthy? And am I safe to receive through my ideas what I want? This is what this principle asks of us to be clear on. What are our beliefs and our emotions? Okay. There are 5 more. There are 5 more, right? But what I've done is, because this could really then go on for a long period of time, I've heard that Tuesday nights are really good for people to attend and for replays and things like this. Plus all the other information I've still yet to share with you, which is coming up, the next 3 the 3 reasons why, the 3 reasons we sabotage. Yeah, this could say why we self-sabotage in the first place. I'm going to share another 3 on the 6th of August, and then the last 2 somewhere in August, 2 weeks later, 20th of August or something like that. And I will make sure that you have the details for that. So what we want to do is really just look at these questions for us for these first 3 principles when it comes to our sabotage. Let's just recap them without the gorgeous slide, and I will send through my fixed up slides afterwards. And so what we've got is, we need inspiration in order to have energy. Do we get that? So we need to have inspiration in order to have energy. Then we need to have concentration in order to have focus. I need to concentrate, cut away other things. And we need vulnerability in order to receive. We need vulnerability in order to receive. All right, so that's where we've gone. And we've got 5 more to cover in different sessions. Now, I want to share with you why do we self-sabotage in the first place? And I've been sharing that as I've been going along. I have been sharing that, but I want to really just break this down really clearly for us. So the first reason we sabotage is, in our unconscious mind, we have unconscious built up negative emotions from our past, such as anger, fear, hurt, guilt, sadness, still sitting in there, that when we think of these events, it's still in our body and we can react and feel these emotions in the present moment. Okay, because we're going to have these emotions in the future. It's just what will happen that will make us feel this way will be less of a reaction, because we're going to have all these new resources. So when you resolve these from the past, those things that used to bother you won't bother you in the future. You'll be a new capacitance of yourself. You'll have more capacity to hold your potential, that you will have so many more resources. So when we've got negative emotions from our past built up still inside our body, well, of course, then we're not going to connect so much more with our, we're not going to connect with our inspiration. We're not going to know what to focus on, because we might be caught up in the past and what's happened in the past. And so we're coming into these new tasks and new goals with stuff, with beliefs. Well, beliefs is another one coming up, right? But the emotions of, I'm angry that other thing didn't work out before. And then you bring anger to this new thing. This is not going to work, because you can think that your behaviors and results, that your willpower, your thinking can just be so positive. The thing is, the part of you that's actually driving you is your unconscious underneath the water. And if you haven't resolved these emotions from the past, they could be to how you're taking action in your world. All right. And so the second reason are the beliefs, the unconscious limiting beliefs, such as I'm not worthy to have what I want, or I won't have love in the same way if I, maybe make more money than anyone in my family. Maybe I won't have love in the same way. That can be an unconscious limiting belief that someone might have. I won't be safe, scared of criticism and negative people. Now, this here are the three core limiting beliefs that I mentioned before. As you can see, there's a worthiness, there's something about love, and there's something about safety. And fundamentally, we all have these three at different levels according to how much work we've moved through this and worked with our beautiful unconscious minds and rescued any past self that has still felt what they experienced to be true for them. So this is how we work, by the way, is if we don't resolve and save our past selves from those times in the past, it doesn't have to be huge trauma. For some of us, it can be quite traumatic. And for other people, having their past can just have these events where somebody said something to you, or you witnessed people in a certain way in your world, and you might not be aware, but you believe something like, it wouldn't be safe for me to make more money than I need. Or, I wouldn't be loved and accepted if I made more money than other people in my life. Or, maybe I'm not worthy of love or money. There are times in our past where we can take that on as a true belief, and then it sits in the unconscious mind and it's functioning in all ways for you. You're just not aware of it, but that is where sabotage will guide you and show you. If you continue to sabotage yourself, then it's showing you have a limiting belief there. Something about your worthiness, your ability to be loved, and the way that your body will then feel safe. Because the brain, again, is programmed to think that anything scary, like too many emails, could be detrimental to our survival. Our brain, our reptilian brain, has not evolved enough for us to know for it to know the difference between real danger or what just feels uncomfortable to the body. So in our busy worlds of so much influence and social media and all the things we need to do because we can work in the evenings and all the rest of it, our body can start to feel like, I'm unsafe. It's like all of these predatory animals are around that could eat me. That's how our body functions and our brain can function. So we've got to address our limiting beliefs from the past, because they could be functioning still for you today and sabotaging any efforts that you're endeavoring to make when it comes to your goals and dreams. And so the third reason is what I've touched on, a negative influence of others. Now, they don't have to be negative people in your life. The fact that other people and adults just have different beliefs and values and experiences and different literal like physical genes and influence from their generations, they're going to have an influence on us that is negative in nature simply because we are not them. We are a unique individual, and we need to have our own set of values, beliefs, and emotions that are decided by us instead of the repeated patterns of the past and the repeated patterns of the generations. And it's becoming such a thing now. I've been in this industry, as I've said to you, like 22 years. And in the last, say, 7 years, there's been a massive shift where there's like big awakenings happening, and people talk about reparenting ourselves, which is really cool. Because in Matrix Therapies, Pip McKay, the creator of Matrix Therapies, I'll talk about Pip again later today. She's been talking about this for decades, and now people are going, oh, we need to reparent ourselves. Well, Pip McKay in Matrix Therapies said, yeah, we need to let go of the influence of our parents simply because they are not us, but they influenced us so deeply growing up. We make sense of the world and how we fit into it according to how we were parented. And it's not about them as people, whether they're positive or negative in nature. It's just that they're going to have different beliefs. For example, for my mum, it was totally cool for her that she didn't work full time and that she didn't even have any ambition to work whilst having us 3 children growing up. Her thing was that she could, do little things if she wanted, like Avon and sell makeup or help people learn English and do all these things if she wanted to, but she didn't have any push or desire to work full time. And so I grew up seeing my dad be the breadwinner and feeling then and having a belief unconsciously that, oh, well, maybe the man should be the breadwinner, and wouldn't it be cool if I can just depend on a man and not have to have income coming in. And I was playing out this in my unconscious mind, but not realizing. And in my timeline, for me and my heart and my soul's calling, I have wanted to have a career and a job that to me is way more than just a job. It's way more to me than work. It's my contribution. It's my, my calling. And yet I had this thing of, well, I don't need to make money. I could just rely on my partner. But that was not my pattern. It didn't work for me. And it was a limiting belief and the negative influence of my parents. But I'm not here saying my parents were negative or blaming them. Simply the fact that we create all meaning from people around us, particularly our parents. And we can adopt certain beliefs, then we can rebel things. And sometimes when we rebel, we're still, well, not sometimes, but all the time, if we're rebelling, we're still being influenced by them. We're still not being free to be ourselves completely, because there's this need to actually do the opposite, to rebel, right? Then there's parts of us that want to escape, like literally just want to say escape their influence. But again, if you have to escape something, you're still going to kind of be influenced by it energetically in order to escape it. You'll be focused still on what you need to escape. So if we just cut the influence and go, right, that's them, this is me. I don't need to escape anything because I can make my own choices. And I don't need to be influenced by them anymore. Then we don't have to feel like there are parts of us that escape. Like when things get hard, well, then do we escape? It's like, oh, well, my mum didn't have to go through thinking about work and babies at the same time. So maybe I won't, right? Maybe I'll just escape this uncomfortableness. But that's not my journey. That was hers, and that worked for her, and that's totally cool. It doesn't work for me. And chances are the things in the generations that serve them definitely don't serve us because we're in a different generation. We are in a different environment. We've got many different things in our environment that are completely different to how it was for people back in the day. And thank goodness for the concept of evolution. We are meant to evolve. We are meant to have different patterns of thinking and different ways of being to our parents. Otherwise, we wouldn't evolve. We would just repeat patterns. And talking about the movement of people picking up reparenting, there's definitely been a movement of people picking up this idea of stopping generational trauma. And I love that. And we're like, Pip and I and everyone who's learned matrix therapies are like, yeah, we've been doing this for decades now. Come and join us. We literally have processes that can stop what you're calling generational trauma. And that's super cool. Those are our processes in matrix therapies. One of the key processes in matrix therapies is letting go of the influence of our parents and then of anyone else in our life that was of a significant influence. But we want to do mum and dad first, because even if they weren't our carers when we were children, it's this concept that they made us, and a human being does expect to have the things that we expect from parents, like unconditional love and all the good things, but also things like discipline and structure. There's many things that we expect from our parents, and we want to let go of the negative influence because we are adults now. So in order for us to live in our own power and for us to live in our passion and purpose and to connect with our higher self and our spirit and our heart's desires, we want to cut away other people's influence. And we have this process to do that. And it flushes out the unconscious mind. All of that underneath the water there is fresh. It's like, I can cut the cords, I can see what was theirs, and I can love and respect that. And there are things I don't love and respect too. I have boundaries, and that was not okay, because some of us have really detrimental negative influences in our life, and we want to put a boundary there, and we can truly be free. And so we can adopt, rebel, compensate, escape. I said we can escape. And the fourth one, by the way, is we can compensate. If we don't clear the negative influence of parents, and if we don't clear just even the influence of parents and then significant others, we are reacting to other people around us, and we're forming our identity on the influence of others rather than stepping into our soul, which is the innocent adventurer connecting to our soul, and the magician bringing our soul down into our material world so that we can be in our unconscious mind, we can be in the oracle. So those first three principles, right? In order for us to live them in the light, which I shared with you, instead of the shadow and the sabotage, we need to let go of negative emotions, limiting beliefs, and other people's influence. So I'm sure this is making sense. If there are any questions, of course, please let me know. Put them in the chat box. Even if you're listening to the replay, I will see questions and chat come through. So send them my way. I might not see the chat on the replay, by the way, but there'll be question and answers that you can, with the chat, there's a Q&A, and I believe it emails me your question. So you can always do that as well. All right, we're almost done. We're almost done. And so how amazing, not just good, but how amazing would be living more in the light feel? And how would it feel now? Because when you know these things, you can at times still do some sabotage, but at least then you know how to come out of it. You know how to be self-aware, to look at what is it that's creating this sabotage. Is it a fear? Is it a limiting belief that I have? Is it an influence that I haven't yet cleared their influence and cut the cords to their influence that could be creating this sabotage? And it can help you bring it into the light. Now, as I said, there's opportunities that I said that I would share with you. And so I just want to share that each of my students have been able to move into the light of any sabotage because they implemented a specific step-by-step system. Now, our level 1 programs are not just a bunch of theory. It's all been tested and proven to work for myself and our students. Thousands of students are now across the world because Matrix Therapies is now across the world, which is so fantastic. So as I mentioned, beautiful Pip Mackay created Matrix Therapies, and also she's my dear mentor and friend. And Pip Mackay, she developed a simple but powerful set of programs that makes it easy to stop self-sabotage. And I've outlined that system for you today. This is how we've packaged it up, and it's profound and it's effective and life-changing. So you're invited to Archetypal Coaching Level 1, which includes live online training. So just like today, you will have a trainer, you will be there and you will learn, and you'll also have breakout rooms where you would go and experience all of the techniques and everything you learn with somebody else in a breakout room in privacy, and also with lots of supervision and care. And you get to be quiet and move through things and let go of the negative emotions, any limiting beliefs, and all negative influences that have currently stopped you from getting your goals and dreams and been creating sabotage for you. So we've got passion and purpose coaching, masculine and feminine coaching, and Matrix Therapies coaching. So it's 3 separate 3-day training, and we package it up in what's called level 1. Now you can do just one, or you can do all of it with all of our online training and resources as well. So I'm just going to share more with you now. Now, the doors are now open. I will share the dates are in September, October, November in 2024. Doors are open now. It says the creator, Pip Mackay, is retiring. She is retiring at the end of 2025. And so honestly, this is such a special time because it's going to be people's last chance. And I know there'll be people who will be disappointed, sadly, when they come to a training next year and go, oh, level 2? What is this level 2 retreat program? And Pip won't be running it anymore because she won't be running any training anymore. But I'm a licensee to the materials, so I will be doing certain events going forward, right? But this is a very special time because Pip Mackay is still teaching for some of our more advanced programs. But in order to do any work with Pip, this is the first and next step. And so at our Passion and Purpose Coaching 3-day live online training, what we do is we look at how the 8 archetypes, so I've shared 3 archetypes with you tonight, are also your possible soul archetypes, that when you live in that energy, you are most yourself, you are most passionate, and you are most on purpose. So we have you notice and find out and discover that you have 3 soul archetypes. Out of the 8, 3 of them are you. And you also have a 4th one, which is your talent archetype. It's the specific energy that you get paid to do, the specific resource and skill that you've become good at and you get paid to do. So then these 4 archetypes out of a possible 8 are what's called your flow of genius. They work in a particular order for you, that when you are in them, you are your best self and you are the happiest and you're in flow. So for example, I have the lover's archetype. So my first flow of genius is I need to connect. I need to feel deeply connected, and even just doing something like this tonight, I've realized from my experience now, I used to feel disconnected when I couldn't see people's faces, but I can trust now from my experience that people will get what they get from this, and I still feel connected just by putting something like this on. And I know that you're here tonight, so thank you to those who have attended live, because that absolutely sure has helped me know that there are people here that I'm connecting with live. And then knowing that the replay will be watched, I feel connected to you, and that's my first step. So then I go into my innocent adventure as my next soul archetype. I need to have fun and freedom, and I'm pretty good at just going for it, like feeling like just jump off the cliff, like go out of my comfort zone and take a bit of a risk. I can more easily step out of my comfort zone than people who don't have innocent adventurer as their soul archetype. Not to say it's easy, but it does make me feel alive and most myself when I can just have fun, free, and trust that universe, trust our beautiful universe, just like the innocent adventurer does. Then I create, so I have creative nurture. I go and create, imagine, and nurture people into their result. My talent archetype is getting results, which is the Knight. So we have you discover your ideal values in a key area of life to uncover and clear any blocks to your passion and any blocks to making it financially successful. Now, it's always a journey. There's always another level, right? But the archetypes are always here for you. They're always here for me. And they can also be there for you. When you know them, you can always go back to your archetypes. And they always have the answers and the resources for you. But on day 2, day 1, right, we find your soul archetypes. Day 2, we're doing a really elegant clearing process with the unconscious mind using matrix therapies, where we really elegantly find out any limiting beliefs or negative emotions that have been sabotaging you and holding you back. And then we clear it. With matrix therapies, we go back to your past self and you connect with your past self and you give your past self, this person, this part of you that decided that belief or had that emotion from what they went through. And you get to give them the resources and tell them that they get to come and be with you now. They're no longer stuck back at that time. They get to come and be with you, and you see them and love them and you give them those resources. And we literally are rescuing our past selves and integrating into our unconscious mind these parts of us that felt stuck with those limiting beliefs and emotions, and they come and be free with us now, feeling different with new choices, actions, and new, more positive beliefs. It's a really beautiful process. And then day 3, you sit and you become each of your archetypes and gain resources from the best parts of you. The best parts of you when you are most passionate, most yourself, most happy, and most on purpose, right? And we do your goal setting around that. So not just any, oh, well, this could be cool, but the goals that make you most happy from your soul's code. It's so cool. So, so cool. And that's called the Living the Dream Plan as well. And this can also be a certification if you do other training like NLP or certain other modalities can allow you to have this be a certification. So it is $1,995 for the 3 days. If you would go on our website, it would be $3,000, but you can get it through me for $2,000, $1,995, and or there is a package I'll share with you in a moment. Now, our next one of Passion and Purpose is in September, the 20th to the 22nd of September, and it's online, live online. So that makes it really easy for people to attend, and we've been loving our online training. It's actually all that we offer now going forward. We don't offer these trainings at the moment face-to-face. And Pip Mackay at Evolve now, they're not going to offer the face-to-face anymore. She'll retire, like I said, and then it will be up to people like myself and other licensees of the work to go and choose if we will ever teach it again face-to-face. Because online is just really cool. It's working beautifully. And so then we have our masculine and feminine coaching. I'm not going to go into as much detail here because it's a lot of what I covered tonight of why we want to let go of the negative influence of a masculine figure in our life and a feminine figure in our life, so mum and dad, so that we can access all of the feminine resources and all of the masculine resources. Now, this is not about our gender. This is about we all need things for our inner world, feminine. We all need resources for our outer world, masculine. Okay? So we clear the negative influence of mum and we teach your unconscious mind the ideal mum. We clear the negative influence of dad and we teach your unconscious mind ideal dad. So again, it gives you all the resources of like organization, structure, rituals, routine. There's some of the ideals of the masculine. Receptivity, inspiration is and like love and nurture and creativity, imagination, they're feminine resources. So by the way, another masculine resource is focus and concentration. So then we talk about masculine and feminine energy and our own expression of that. We talk about relationships, and we do a really awesome, profound technique on the drama cycle. And you might have heard of it, you might have not. And it is about being a people pleaser, rescuer, or perpetrator, always feeling like you're being blamed or that you are the person that's over controlling and being the perpetrator, or the victim, right? So are we either rescuing, being a perpetrator, or always feeling victim? And we go in cycles. This can go round and round in relationship dynamics. We can even do drama cycles with ourselves. We can like feel victim to ourselves and our choices. So we do a beautiful clearing process that stops us doing drama triangles so we can create our world the way we want to. And again, this is a separate certification. So you can also be certified to use these processes with others. And if I just do this real quick, you can see, yeah, that's a picture of my beautiful husband and I when I was doing my book cover. So I called it Your Happily Ever After. This is my book because your sacred marriage within is about your feminine and masculine energies marrying together. So that's masculine and feminine coaching. And then we have our beautiful Matrix Therapies coaching, which is in November. So that was in October. So we've got September, October, November. Matrix Therapies looks at negative influence, negative emotions. We look at belief clearing. We also give you a grief script. So if you want to be a coach and want to help other people, you can learn the grief script, or you can have an opportunity to clear any grief and resolve any grief for yourself. And we have shyness, self-esteem, and self-love scripts and processes that we teach you, and you get to go and experience as well. We give you a dream analysis script and what's called goal evolution process, where you can really be the person you need to be to do the things you want to do, to have what you want. So we give you a goal setting process that brings that being the person you need to be into the tangible process. And again, it's another certification. So you can choose to do just one of these programs, and they would be $1,995 by itself with me, like through me, if you come and speak to me, because on my website, again, it is $1,000 more. And as a package, you're looking at $4,995 plus over $8,000 in bonus material. Because I will send you, this will pop up. You can see all of the bonus material that you can get. So if you click on that link, see the bonus material here, you'll get recordings, and you can get immediate access to recordings of myself teaching masculine and feminine online. It was a brilliant training. I had like 60 people there. So I'm really proud of that. It went really well because it was our first online training because of COVID, and blew us out the water how effective it was. We have a recording of a passion and purpose coaching training, and we have Matrix Therapies, and you get recordings of the creator teaching it, Pip Mackay. Plus, if you haven't signed up to NLP with us, you get our NLP Prac and Master Prac CDs. And by the way, if you've enrolled in NLP with us before, so you've done Master Prac, if you have signed up to NLP Master Prac, it's $1,000 less than the $4,995. You get it for $3,995. So if, again, you've recently signed up with us, or you've done NLP Master Prac somewhere else, talk to me about it, because what happens is most of our trainers who we've taught NLP will teach Matrix Therapies inside of a NLP training. And we appreciate that some of the material in that training is similar and the same to what you get, say, at Matrix Therapies coaching. And at the Master Prac level, some of what you get, only some of what you get at masculine and feminine coaching. So there's a bit of like overlapping of the content. So we appreciate that some people feel they've already learned say, the negative influence script. And it's completely different in masculine and feminine because you do a download script, which you don't get to do at NLP. And you don't do the drama cycle process in NLP. So there again, there's some little overlaps, but there's enough new content and experience in this package that sits different. So overarching what we offer in our business, just so you know, we offer archetypal coaching, and there's level 1, which I'm sharing with you now, which you see on the screen. Actually, you are seeing that. And we also have a level 2 where we do all the 22 principles of consciousness. So not just the manifesting archetypes, but also how you grow and maintain your manifestations and how you truly transform and evolve your life. There are 22 principles of consciousness. And next year, in 2025, is the final year Pip Mackay will ever be teaching that program. And it's quite sad. I don't think I've ever presented this before to people, that she will be retiring. And it really does hit me when I say that with so much passion and honor of what that means. It's a big thing that our beautiful Pip will not be training that program anymore. I might choose to do it in a separate format and things like this, but we also have level 2, and we have archetypal coaching, level 1, level 2, and we have NLP, all of our NLP training. Now, there are some further trainings like hypnosis and other programs, and fundamentally, these are our core packages. So I would be getting in now. If this is something you feel like, wow, this is really interesting to me, I've connected with this. This really is a very special time to join. This is not a thing we're just saying for our marketing. Pip's definitely retiring next year. Now, for 72 hours only, if you're able to want to join and put down a deposit of $550, then the bonus is that I can offer you some coaching sessions with me, 3 coaching sessions, which is hugely valuable, at least $1,500 worth in value there. And that is just for you to be able to make a decision for yourself. And as I said, for staying till the end, special bonus is I'm going to give you my program of how to live your passion and purpose. Now, I'm selling this for $47 going forward, and I'm definitely not offering it for free anywhere else. What this does is it takes you through the 8 archetypes, but in the way that they could be your passion and purpose, your soul archetypes. So it gives you a video for each of them and explains how it could be your passion and purpose, your soul identity. And so it's a free online program for you for staying till the end. So I will send you the link to that. And I just want to thank you again for joining me tonight. Next time on the 6th of August, 7:30, we're going to look at the next 3 principles. I apologize, these pictures are a bit blurry, but they are gorgeous. We're going to look at creativity, organization, and intuition, and the sabotages of them. So the link there that was on the offer can allow for you to make the deposit happen or look at the payment options. I have got finance, which is exciting for people because it can make this really accessible for just $37 per week. It's very exciting that I have this beautiful company I've partnered with, Lifestyle Finance, and they're beautiful creditors, and they're soft creditors, which means you can go and apply with them or chat with them. They can put through a whole application to see if they can lend, or one of the banks can lend you money, and it wouldn't affect and doesn't affect your credit rating. To just even go and talk with them and to apply and see what you could borrow, and they can do debt consolidation, give you money for travel and accommodation too if you ever needed it for training. And the minimum there is $5,000 to be able to look at finance. So even if it was say $4,000 for our training, they could lend you $1,000 extra and you could just pay that immediately back, right? And it is about $37 per week. Sometimes it can be even less. Depending on your circumstance, it could be a little bit more. But you can chat with them free of anything going against any credit rating for you, which is super cool. It's called soft credit application. And I'm excited I can offer that. I just want to thank you again. There is a 30-day guarantee, by the way, as well. And I want to thank you again for, let me just really sit with this for a second. There is a 30-day guarantee. Of course, it's not just, oh, I've changed my mind. I'm sorry, it's not like that. It's more like, have you really endeavored to apply the information? Have you gone and watched our recordings? Have you really sat with the fact that this can truly help you? And if you can email us and let us know you really don't think that it would, and you can tell us why, then it's possible we can give you a refund within the first 30 days that you sign up. It has the terms and conditions, which is a bit clearer than what I've just said. When you show interest, I can send you an enrollment form and it can have the terms and conditions. But there is also this 30-day guarantee, and it would include your refund. I was on a webinar recently, signed up to a program, and the guy said too, and I must admit it was one reason, big reason I just signed up, because of those cool bonuses, like my free coaching for the next 3 days only. I signed up because he said specifically there is a something or other how many days guarantee you'll get a full refund, but the terms and conditions actually said not on the refund. So we don't do any secrets here. Clearly, it's 100% risk-free. You would get everything back if you read the terms and conditions there and agree to that. Of course, if you look at the terms and conditions, you've paid me money, I will pay you back. I'm such a big-hearted person. I always am so honest, and all good kosher here, I promise. So again, I'll send you the link for this for the free How to Live Your Passion and Purpose. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed tonight, and I'll be seeing you again, if you can and would like to, on the 6th of August. We're going to go over the next 3 sabotages. My big love. I'll just check if there are any questions. And I think not. That's okay. There's a few of you on here still, and I appreciate that. Thanks so much again. And I will see you soon. I'll speak to you soon. I'd love to hear from you and what you gained from tonight. And if you're watching the replay, well done for watching. Thank you for watching. Please also share with me what you've gained. I'll speak to you soon. Big love.